I haven't held up this vlog camera in about a year. So I'm in El Salvador. I have been here for 2 weeks now, 2 weeks today. And yeah, I thought, why don't I just get on YouTube and talk about this? So what's going on? Yeah, maybe I should just sit down and talk about it. Okay, so hey, I really want to start doing more just like talking to the camera videos. I have one on my channel about like a Q&A for solo travelers, but I thought, you know, like it's good to just also just do like in the moment, what's going on type of ones. So today is the 19th of September. It's a Monday. I've been in El Salvador for 2 weeks and I quit my job. I was unhappy. I sold my furniture, put the rest of my belongings in storage, and I'm on a break for my master's degree. I've been living in Houston, Texas for the last year, and it was 1 year and like 1 month by the time I left a couple of weeks ago. And I was doing my master's degree, and I wanted to do my master's degree, and I'm still going to finish my master's degree. I just got to a point where I was like, wow, I'm so unhappy. You know, like when you're doing things that you feel like you should be doing because it's like the right thing and the this and the that, but you're not really thinking about like how you feel. So well, my mum passed away in January 2021, and when that happened, my whole world fell apart totally. At the same time, I had lost my job in the pandemic, and I was living at home with my mom, so we lost the house. I ended up being homeless. Then I got accepted to my master's degree in Houston, which I had applied for before she passed away. We're in the pandemic, we're in lockdown. So just so much was happening, and I just wanted to feel stable. I just wanted to feel secure, knowing that I lost my home, my childhood home, my mom, you know, like it was just a lot going on. So eventually, after being homeless for a few months, and you know, obviously I wasn't on the street. I was really fortunate enough to stay with my cousin. I slept on her sofa for a while, and then I finally got a job. But in London, rent's expensive, so I didn't get my own apartment. You know, a lot of people just rent rooms in London. So I rented a room in a 3-bedroom flat in London. I felt more secure. I had a job and I was working, it was remote. But you know, the whole of lockdown in the UK, we had it in 2020 and then we had another one in 2021. You know, I was grieving and I had to grieve a lot by myself. And I have my sister who lives in London and my friends, but you know, you couldn't like always see them and stuff. So a lot of it was very lonely. And so I was like, okay, so now I don't feel like I'm settled. I don't feel like I have security. I don't feel stable, and I'm lonely. So all of that started leading to me being like, you know what? I just want to feel the opposite of all of this. So when I went to Houston, I said, I want to go to Houston, which is crazy for me because if you know me and living in America, it's like Nessa, living in America, and the South, wild. And Houston is very like, they call it a purple city because it's very modern. Purple meaning like blue Democrat, red Republican, mixed purple. It's very mixed. It's very multicultural, and it's very, I'd say, quite liberal. But then there's also like people like waving guns and all of that stuff. But yeah, so Houston's a great city, but still, it's America. Like, what am I doing in America? Anyway, so I was just like, I need to go to Houston and I need to settle down. I need to find a man, I need to find a husband, do my master's degree, which I always wanted to do. And I went with so many expectations and I'm going to feel settled and, you know, I'll still travel because I'm a traveler, but I'm going to do this and that. And then it was just like, I got there, and I think because I put so many expectations on my move there, not just the city, but also how my life will go. Obviously, things don't always go as you plan. So I just got more and more unhappy because the city isn't really my favorite place. You know, I've had a lot of incidents there. I don't really feel as safe as I'd like to feel there. It's probably the most unsafe I felt my whole life. And you know, I've lived in Colombia, Brazil, America, different. I just got to a point where I was like, I don't want to do this. My master's degree, hated it. I'm studying public policy. I won't say which university, just because people are crazy and they tried to find you. And things just didn't go as I had hoped. And I just started to consider my career. But at the same time, so many good things are happening. I launched my travel business. I hosted a group trip to Colombia in January of this year. And it was amazing. You know, 8 beautiful women trusted me to come with me to a country that I love. Planned everything, the tours, the activities, accommodation, and it was great. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I never thought I could do this, but I could do it, and it's amazing. I'm so proud of myself. And then I launched my travel planning service where I plan trips and itineraries for people. And I've planned, like, when I launched it in maybe like April or May, I've already planned like 10 trips for people. I never planned for travel to be my full-time career. A lot of people assume that because I've been, you know, creating content on Instagram especially for a long time, but my career in public policy and international development policy, which is very long to explain, but that has been my career, my dream. You know, I studied in university for it. I've been working in that sector for years since university. So like, I never intended for travel to be full-time. I intended for travel to be my side hustle. And then it just got to a point where I was like, okay, well, my master's degree is going shit. And my master's degree was a step to the next part of my career. So now I'm like, do I even want to do my career? Now I'm like, do I even like my job that I'm in right now? And I just got to a point where I was like, you know what? Nah. But it took a year and a bit of me being unhappy, but rejecting my feelings of unhappiness and discontent, and being like, this is what you have to do, you have to do. And anyone who knows me, I've never been that way. I've never been someone to like force myself to do things just because, oh, you know, I'm 27 now, I just turned 27 in May. It's time to settle down, it's time to do this. I've never been that way, you know. I'm the type of person, every time I want to go somewhere, do something, change, be a new me, I do it. So for me to be forcing myself into these situations, which weren't necessarily unhealthy, but it was unhealthy because it wasn't really what I wanted. And I think I was so go, 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 you know, like after my mum died and so much was happening and I wanted this, I wanted that. I never took time to, the camera literally like nearly fell off. So I never took time to be like, what do I want? How do I feel? I was grieving, and I've been grieving the whole time since she passed away, beginning of last year. But it was like, what makes me happy? What do I need right now to feel peace? And I think that's where I went wrong. I thought that peace would be settling down somewhere, building somewhere, having roots somewhere, having a home somewhere else. And it couldn't be the UK, just because when my mum passed, I was like, nah, I can't be here. And even when my mum was alive, she always knew that I never wanted to live in the UK. I actually don't have an issue living in the UK. I've just always wanted to live somewhere else. That's how I started traveling. I've always wanted to just be in other places. I was just go, 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 go. And I was like, I don't have any peace. And so I got to a point where I was like, fuck this. Like, this just isn't me. I'm not happy. I don't recognize myself mentally. I've probably been the worst mentally. I've been in for a very long time. But if people don't know me or aren't close to me, they wouldn't really know that, because, you know, I'm fun and I'm confident and I'm still out here traveling and I'm meeting new people in Houston and going out. But it's like I wasn't actually living for me. I was just doing things because I think I was just in pain and I just didn't know how to deal with it. And then also, in terms of my job was just whatever, you know, it paid the bills and it wasn't making me unhappy, but it was, I guess, in a sense, just like, this is a thing that I'm not even sure about anymore after years of being sure about it. I was traveling, and when I was traveling, for the first time ever, not that I wasn't grateful for the trips, I was, you know, I made my own money, but I wasn't present on the trips. I was saying to my best friend the other day, like, I went to Guatemala in the beginning of May. Unless I look at the content I made for that trip, I genuinely do not remember what I did on the trip, because I was just there. I was just going through the motions of, you know, I've traveled to so many places this year. I went to Colombia on a group trip, and then my friends from the UK came to the US. We went to Miami and they came to Houston, which was super fun. Had an amazing time and I loved that they came. After that, I went to Mexico. After that, I went to Guatemala, and then for my birthday, I went to Jamaica, and then I went to the UK in July, which was amazing. And I needed, my soul needed to go back. I needed my friends in the UK and hear British accents and culture and stuff, see my sister. I needed that. And then I came back to Houston and I was still just like, oh. And I think I was just like, you know what, this isn't me. And physically, I don't recognize myself either. I'm still always going to be confident. I'm always going to be in swimwear, because that's something that took me a long while to even get to that point. But I don't recognize myself physically. I've put on like 60 pounds since my mum passed. And that's not just half because of the pandemic at the time, the gym wasn't open, we were at home a lot, but it also was just like, I'm a comfort eater. I eat my feelings. I've always been that way. I eat my feelings. I haven't been to the gym consistently in a very long time, like over a year. Like there'd be some days where I go 2 days a week, some days where I go 3 days a week, some days where I go once a week, but most weeks I go zero times. And it was just like, this isn't me, you know. I've been consistently at the gym for about 8 years. Weight fluctuates, that's fine. I always had a balanced mindset of, if I continuously make good decisions when I eat, it doesn't matter if I eat this sugary thing or this fatty thing. But it's just been like the last year, just eating shit, gaining weight, not working out. And it's not just about how I look now, it's that I don't feel healthy. And I was just like, all of these things, who am I? I was just losing myself. I didn't recognize myself physically, mentally, emotionally. I was, you know, going on dates with guys because I was lonely. It just was like, I was just doing too many things to cover the wounds rather than healing the wounds. And it was just like, enough is enough. So it took me a really long time to come to the decision to just leave. But it was, I think, I got to a point where I'm sitting there and I was like, my lease isn't due for renewal for another few weeks. This was in August. I hadn't paid my tuition fees for the next semester yet because I've done 1 year of my master's. I have 1 year to go. I was like, okay, shit, I don't have to continue being here for a while. And then, you know, I reached out to my university's international student office and I asked them, like, you know, if I was to take a break, like, how does that work? Do I have to get my visa again? Because I didn't want to do that. That was such a long process. Like, can I come back? Is it this? And they were like, as long as you take a break for no more than 5 months, you can come back next semester and continue. And that's it. You don't have to get a new visa. You're good. So I was like, oh, okay. My lease, again, it was up in a couple of weeks. And I was like, oh, I can just go and I don't have anything holding me back. And so I said, you know what? I just need to do it. And I just need to step away from Houston. I need to take some time to focus on myself, find my peace, find my joy, create healthy routines so that when I do go back to Houston, because I do want to finish my master's degree. I hate it, I'll be honest with you. It hasn't been even close to what I've expected. It's been all statistics and barely any like actual policy writing. But I do want to finish it, and then something that my mum would be really proud of me finishing as well. You know, she always loved the idea that I wanted to get my master's degree because no one else in our family like has that. And so I want to still finish it because I'm someone, I have to finish what I started, but I just needed a break. You know, I just needed a break from just forcing myself to do all these things that I felt I should do. It took me so long to say I'm gonna do it, but when I finally said, this is what I need to do, instantly I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. It was like a relief. And I was like, that's how I knew it was what I was meant to do. And I prayed to God a lot during that time. And it was literally only in the middle of August. So literally like a month ago. I prayed to God so much and I cried and I cried. And I just said, God, just tell me what to do. And I think God was trying to say to me, if you stop trying to control what's next, I will show you. And I think I was just sitting in my living room in my apartment one night and I just was crying and I just was like, oh my God, just whatever. Like, it's like I was almost like relinquishing just anything. And it's like after that crying session in my mind, it was like, just take a break. So clear. I don't want to be in control of this anymore. I don't want to have to make the decision. And it came to me, and it was just why I was just like, I want to get closer to my faith with God even more so, because this was something that I don't feel like the decision just came to me by myself, you know. And I also thank the people that, a few friends who I spoke to during this time when I was explaining what I was thinking about, and they, you know, gave me really good advice to just think about and how to like go about making this decision and doing what feels good for me. So yeah, like I quit, I quit my job and I worked my notice, master's on hold, sold my belongings, sold my furniture, rest of the stuff put into storage. And I'm in El Salvador because it's somewhere I just always wanted to travel to. And you know, I thought, whilst I'm in this part of the world, let me travel to here. I've been here solo for 2 weeks. I'm here solo for another 3 weeks. But a couple of friends are coming to visit me this week, which is awesome, which I'm super excited about. And then I will just continue on. And already since I've been here, I've started journaling. I've started stretching every morning. I've started meditating. I've wrote down a routine I want to follow so that even when I leave here, even when I go back to Houston, I'm in control and I can still have joy no matter where I am. So yeah, I guess I will continue taking you on my journey to where I go next. I'm probably going to go over to Southeast Asia at some point. But yeah, I just wanted to share this story and how I came to it. And I feel good, I feel happy, and it's not that taking a break and leaving is always the best remedy for what you're going through, but I'm really grateful that I just have this opportunity, honestly, to take a moment. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful in some way, and I will be back soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.